clap. Why am I clapping? More about that in a moment. I want to welcome you to our sample video. We'll be using this video as an example as I show you the different tools and techniques in Camtasia. Since you'll be seeing this video a lot of times over, I've really been pondering what topic to talk about so you actually get some value out of it. My short list of topics came down to teaching you a little German, how to groom a cat, or a couple of tips of how to create professional PowerPoint slides. I've settled on the last topic because I think that teaching you how to speak German would take more than a few minutes. And to be honest, my two cats weren't too keen about the second topic, so I'll share some of my PowerPoint presentation tips with you that are actually coming from a workshop that I'm usually doing live. When I'm starting with any video that I'm recording, I'm always starting out with that clap I did in the beginning. This clap leaves a high spike in my soundtrack, and that's important because I'm using it later to sync my audio track. I'm recording one track with my video camera, and that's not the greatest quality, so I'm recording a second track with an external microphone that is set up just below the video frame in front of me. So let's get started with the actual video tip now, and I'll show you later how to edit out this section in the front, and also I'll create a few more imperfect moments throughout the video that I'll also show you how to cut out later. Welcome to our PowerPoint presentation tips. PowerPoint can be your best friend in a presentation, or it can be your biggest enemy. There's an old saying, friends don't let friends use PowerPoint. How many of you have sat through a PowerPoint presentation where the slides were filled with so much information that you could hardly read any of it, and a presenter who did his best to read the slides word for word behind them? Let me give you an example, and later I'll show you how to overlay a slide on top of what I'm saying as well. Limit text to essential key points and don't type out your message word for word. Typing out your presentation word for word distracts the audience from you as a speaker and takes away from the power of your message. The audience often gets overwhelmed with too much information on the PowerPoint slides that we're presented with. Here's a better way of creating your PowerPoint slides. Create your speaking points in bullet form. That makes it much easier to follow. You can choose to have them appear all together, or you can choose to make them appear one by one on the screen if you want to keep the focus on a single point. Make sure you show a maximum of 5 to 6 lines of text on your slides. This allows you to keep your type size fairly large. This is especially important if you're doing a live presentation, because then you need to keep in mind that there's people in the back of the room who have a much further distance to your projection screen. What do you do if you have a lot of information to share? Well, it's simple. Just split the text-heavy pages. Don't worry about having more slides. There's no cost to it. Your focus should always be on making the information easy to follow. Keeping it simple is not only important when it comes to the amount of text displayed, but also how you display it. PowerPoint is awesome in letting you choose a wide variety of effects. And I have to admit, they're a lot of fun to experiment with. The problem is, they're also very distracting for your audience when they see the words bouncing in letter by letter by letter by letter, and those wild animations swirling through the air. There's nothing wrong with using some animations. Personally, I like to use simple animations, like a line of text floating in or simply appearing. Animations are great because they add some movement to your presentation. Just make sure they support you and don't take away from your message. So that's it for our little PowerPoint tip, and we'll use that as a clip throughout, and I'll show you how to cut out the pieces you don't want. We'll combine audio tracks, and later we'll also work on putting that green background in front of me into something else. You'll notice that green background behind me I have. It's actually called a green screen, and we have a whole section in the course dedicated to working with the green screen, and I'll show you how to work with that, how to edit it, and eventually also how to replace that backdrop with something that's more suitable. Because I know I look great in green, however, it's not a great backdrop when you actually do professional presentations. So that's it for our little video tip. You'll see it lots of times over, and we'll get working.